What up, people? Welcome to the Joe McFo Show. Greetings, everyone. Thank you for coming on to the live stream. I'm about to get the TikTok stream going, so we'll have 3, 2, and 1 for that. And we are going to continue working on shadow boxes, of course, because what else will we be working on today? So here we go. I made a couple adjustments, or maybe not adjustments, but made a little bit of progress since the last time. So you guys can all see what we're working on here. But yeah, this is actually pages towards the end of the comic, and I was able to throw in some of the 3D background in here, and I think that's going to help lay out the scene a lot more easily. So, excuse me. So yeah, there's a couple of things I have to revise. For example, over here, this was based off of another layout that I had. I had this drawing, it was a completely different perspective, but I have to actually just completely redraw this now because it's a completely different perspective. So we're going to keep it going. So let's add here. Yay, progress. Yes, we're making progress over here. Alright, so yeah, actually here, you guys can see it used to look like this one right here. So this was the layout before, and it was a nice wide shot, but I actually changed a couple of things. So yeah, now it's these shots here. I really like this kind of long shot for Zalam over here because you just kind of get to see him being, just being not quite confrontational or anything, but kind of calm and collected. So we're going to adjust everything on here. We got our model. I'm actually going to lock this because it seems like it's pretty solid. And then I'm also going to just put a quick grid in here, just for myself. And we're working with 1 point, it seems. Well, I guess we could do 2 point, actually. It's a very subtle 2 point. Alright, let's see. So we're seeing underneath that, so looking at something around here. Here. So at 1 point I have to see. Let me actually take a guess here. So we got a couple lines that we're just going to use to determine where everything is going. Alright, let's see. You see the underside of this, so let's say horizon's probably around here-ish. We have a vanishing point somewhere in this area right there. Alright, so we're gonna adjust this. I swear, this is honestly one of the best things about Clip Studio Paint is the fact that you can create your own perspective ruler like this. This is something that Photoshop has, for some reason, never incorporated. And it's really frustrating because you would think there are so many artists who use this, that use Photoshop, and they have never once thought, hey, maybe we should help them out. But I think part of the reason for that is primarily because Photoshop is, exactly what it sounds like. It's a photo editing software that people have eventually adapted to become a drawing software. But I actually think Clip Studio Paint is far more advanced when it comes to being a drawing tool. It is very, very useful. There's a lot of tools for creatives to do their thing, and so yeah, I'm just thankful that I ended up shifting over to this. All right, so let's do this. Right now, we're just laying out the perspective, getting the grids, some line up. Oh, that's not actually. It's actually a little off. You know, that's such a small thing. I don't think anyone's really gonna notice that. All right, yeah, let's lay in this general grid here. Because honestly, I'm probably just gonna trace over this this grid anyway, or this what do you call it? The 3D plan. All right, so we got our guide here. Now we got to move to the fun part, and that is creating all of the unique poses for everyone. And I feel bad because I really liked how this sketch was coming out for Javen, but unfortunately it's just not going to, just not going to stick. But it's okay. Let's see. And these other characters, I have to figure out how tall they are. Let's see. So let's just turn this off, and I'm going to say, let me lower the opacity here. Based on this drawing, I would say, let me turn off the layer here. I'm going to say that my character in the next panel is probably about here as far as height goes, which means I could end up zooming in a little bit more. We'll see. I'm not exactly sure just yet. And then we'll have Javen. He's still kind of exhausted from running from the guards. Yeah, I might end up zooming in on this piece, or this panel significantly. And then we have Enzi Cairo over here. How's everyone's week been? Yeah, that's a great question. How's everyone's week been? I hope you all are doing well. Thank you all for the hearts. Appreciate you guys. Alright, yeah, I think this is actually pretty solid. So let's see, how can I do this? Expand. No. You know, I think the best strategy for changing the view without messing with the horizon line and all that too much, I'm probably just gonna have to draw it first, and then I will end up editing it later and resizing later. I think that's probably the smartest strategy. Oh, Blocky Raps, it's me, Jordan, here to interrogate you some more. Oh, fun. What's up, man? Thank you for coming onto the live stream. Thank you for coming onto the live stream. Interrogate away, even though that sounds kind of dark. It's all good. Let me get a reference for this pose here. So I just looked up a photo of people who are tired and putting their hands on their knees, just like, you know, you played all 4 quarters of the game and you're like, I'm tired. So that's kind of what we're doing right now. Oh shoot, we have a Yasha sighting. Sorry, TikTok crew, that is my cat. Only the YouTube audience gets to see it. So, you guys, here we go. Trying to get him in. There he is. There is Yasha. You guys can see him on YouTube. So, I think that calls for a hydration check. So, every time the cat shows up, gotta drink some water. Kid Dose is feeling that. Appreciate the comment. All right, let's get back to the drawing. All right, right now I'm just doing some very simple rudimentary sketches. I think this character, since he's the tall one, it's gonna be Cairo. So let's have him lean back. Maybe his hat is off. Take his hat off because he's just tired. And then I don't know what this other character is gonna be doing. I'll have to figure that out later. tired over here. Let me turn the guide down. Let's see how much I wonder how much I can actually save of this drawing. Maybe I don't even have to edit that much. Actually, you know what? I might not have to change this. This actually works. Oh, sweet. Oh, this is great. This is good news. That means I don't have to redraw all this. Sweet. Could do some simple editing if I wanted to. I know it's right now what I'm seeing is his feet are a little on the small side. So let's do that. For those who are curious, the character that I am drawing his name is Javen. This is what he looks like. This is the character from my comic right here. So we got our partial turnaround. I never did fix the last couple poses, but this is him. And the other characters in the comic are, where's my thing? Gotta show all you guys, because I don't know who's been here before and who's not. If you have never been here before, welcome. So yeah, these are the four main characters of the comic here. This is Javen, the one we just saw. Zalam, who is this character's cousin. Then we have Cairo and Enzi. They're all a part of the crew here. I call them the Peer Pressure Crew because that's what the name of the comic is. So we are going to get working on them. So right now I'm drawing Javen, the main kid. They're all running away from the cops, basically. So they got to a safe location, so now they're just exhausted. Blocky Raps asks, why did you choose to go to RISD over all art schools? I know the Prestige, but is there any alumni you took inspiration from? Yes, actually, the guys who created Avatar went there. So yeah, that is a hydration check, a worthy one at that. So that was one reason. There's another reason, and that was primarily because I was born and raised in LA, and I knew that the animation industry was primarily in LA. And so for me, I was like, I want to go somewhere else, and outside of California, and get some sort of life experience, meet new people and stuff like that. And because when I move back, I might not ever leave. So that was my mindset at age 18. And I think it all worked out, because if I didn't go to RISD, I wouldn't have my current wife. So, yeah, there are way more benefits than just because going to RISD just because I happen to go to the same school as the guys who created Avatar. So yeah. But the Prestige was there. But if it weren't for, you know, what I just mentioned with me and my wife there, I don't know if I would go again to the school. Not because they're necessarily bad, but I don't think that I was equipped in time for what I wanted to do as a career, because they have a different philosophy for teaching than I personally believe in, at least now as a man who's 10 years out of the school system. So yeah. Good question though. But so yeah, I went to RISD for my undergrad, and then I went to the Academy of Art for grad school. And yeah, I liked grad school a lot. That was fun. Challenging. There were a lot of challenges associated with that, especially because I didn't have a place to live when I first went there. So I remember walking over to the financial aid office begging them to release my funds to me early, or I would be homeless in San Francisco, and they did. The guy was very nice. He's like, "Oh, this is a problem. So let's have you not be homeless." So it worked out, but it was like a 2-mile walk, and you know, I had to go to the guys in person for that. I couldn't just send that in an email, because you know they'll never see it. You gotta attach a face to the name sometimes. So yeah. You suffered much. Yeah, I've been through quite a bit. Like I look back and I'm like, if I had a son who was dealing with all this stuff at the same age as me, I would probably be freaked out a little bit. But it's all right. Everything worked out, and now I'm not in expensive old California anymore. I'm now a Texan. I'm still working on my accent. Still working on. I gotta find the right cowboy hat, and yeah, there's a couple things that I won't be able to enjoy. I won't be able to enjoy the Texas barbecue because I don't eat meat. So there's that. So all the stereotypes, I'm just gonna ruin the experience. All right. So I think that looks pretty good there. When it says, is the sound like Jordan talking specifically quieter than normal for anyone else? I've got the volume on my phone cranked up almost to the max. Oh, here, let me see. Let me get my mic closer, and let me try turning up the mic a little bit. Oh, I can't turn up the mic more. All right, let me turn the volume down on here. On music. Is that better, Manette? Let me know. So we got that, and then let's just have all the characters drawn here. All right, so this character, we already kind of have an idea of where he is. So based on this drawing over here, it's basically the same pose. So the work's kind of done for us already in a sense. Hello, Joe McFo fam. Hello, Steez and Kathy. Was Kathy sneezing?
You missed it.
I did miss. Did I miss the sneeze? I was so focused on everything else. This sounds a little bit better. Okay. Yeah, the mic is as close as I can make it. Unless we all want it on mute. But I don't want to hear it on mute. It could be that you need to put on headphones too, if you can't hear it very well. All right. Megan says, did I miss some RISD gossip? That's probably for the best. It'd be like the Dead Sea in here with all the salt. Oh, man. No, so basically all I said was I went to RISD because the Avatar guys went there, which we already did a hydration check on that one. And it benefited me in the long run because I met my wife there. So, yeah, that's one of the exciting things about that. But otherwise, yeah, I didn't give RISD the most glowing review, but you can be as salty as you want. I'll read everything you have to say, Megan. What did RISD do? I'm curious. Oh, Megan, you wanna take over in the comments for that? I'll say this because I'm sure Megan's gonna write a whole essay on this, but basically what RISD does is they encourage people to kind of pursue their own path. They don't really they encourage you to experiment and to do your own thing, which in some cases is great, admittedly, but for someone like myself who's trying to learn illustration animation and to work in an industry where you have to work on alongside a team, it's not very good. And a lot of the fundamentals were also lacking. So because they wanted to do all the experimental stuff, they didn't really teach perspective very well. We had courses on it, but it wasn't taught well. You had some anatomy courses, but they weren't taught well. And by the time you get into your third year, you've gotten through all your foundations technically, but you now have 2 years left to master what you plan to major in. Because freshman year they start you off doing basic stuff working in figure drawing and charcoal and 3D classes and stuff. Some of it, which is applicable, like the figure drawing is fine, but they didn't do that for everything. And so you have that, and then sophomore year you have a basic illustration class, a basic design class, where you're supposed to be learning the principles and everything. Yeah. Wait, hey, you didn't mention your cool friend Megan. Because you weren't on yet. I was like, I don't want to bring up someone who's not here. But yes, I also met my cool friend Megan, who's awesome. I'm sorry. Black Rose, I remember Michael roasting them about that. Michael roasts everybody about everything. that is not special, but yes, you're absolutely right. He roasted for years, and he still would do it. I bet if I brought it up, he would find something new to roast on. But anyway, yeah. So you only have 2 years to master what you're planning on majoring in, and it becomes really, really difficult because it's practically impossible. So yeah, that was kind of where a lot of the beef comes from there. There was something else I was going to mention. Oh, the time slots. I don't know how other colleges work. Because I've only been to so many. But one of the things that I did not like is the fact that your classes were determined by lottery and your time slots. So everyone gets a chance to go to submit their course forms online and everything. They sign up for classes, but then they often fill up, especially if they're really popular, and they usually have like one class that's for like comics or for animation or TV. There was one class that was like it was designing for TV animation, I think, and that class filled up so quick. And they don't often bring people around most times out of the year. So basically your whole education is determined by your time slot. And I remember one time I actually went to the registrar office and I said, look, you're giving me crappy time slots and I'm about to be a second semester senior and I can't get the classes I want. And they went and checked and they're like, oh yeah, you have had some bad time slots. So here, I'll help you out and you get a better time slot. I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, why should my education be determined by something as trivial as that? And it's very, very frustrating. So yeah, that left a sour taste in my mouth and many other people, and so it ended up being students would have to teach their friends what they wanted in the class. Like there were times where I was like, hey, can you give me the notes to this class because I'm unable to get it, and it's really frustrating. So yeah. Megan says, I feel like the popular ones were at the same time too, on purpose. Yes, that's also true. I forgot about that. Yeah, the popular classes were at the exact same time. And yeah, it just ruined everything. So yeah. Manette says, I remember when I was at Edinburgh University in PA, a good number of students were there for animation. Psych prof told House when he was a student, his roomie eventually went on to work at Pixar. Edinburgh is Penn West now. Yeah, that's crazy. Imagine having RNG on education, bro. What is RNG? Do I know? What is RNG? I don't know what that is.
Random number generator.
Oh, thank you. See, that's why I have to have someone around to read the comments for me because I don't know. I'm trying to have my mind go in like 3 or 4 directions at once. Like I'm trying to think the drawing, I'm trying to think of the conversation and being engaging and stuff. And sometimes that's harder than it looks. Yeah, but it was pretty frustrating overall, and I think that there's gonna have to be a system change if they intend for the school to continue to grow, if it doesn't have a bad enough reputation already. Because the unfortunate situation with art school is that a lot of stuff is coming out complaining about how poorly they are designed, I guess, because you have all these students with lofty goals and dreams, but oftentimes they don't deliver, and it's really, really sad. It's really, really sad. So yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Manette says, I didn't know any of the animation students personally, so I don't know what the program was actually like, but they claimed a few people worked at Pixar. Yeah, especially CCA is dead right now. What's CCA like? I've heard a couple of things, but I don't know much about it. Tell me more. Megan says, I didn't realize how awful that time slot system was until I went somewhere else. It's ghastly. If more people want a class, have the prof open up multiple sections. Duh. Yeah, that's so true. CalArts is getting carried off proximity. I don't know what that means. But yeah, these systems are being destroyed, and honestly, what I've noticed in the last, I would say, 5 to 10 years, most of the young artists who are excelling are self-taught, from what I'm seeing. Like, I just came across a page. Actually, you know what? I'll shout out another artist. Let me show you guys this artist I found. This is Just Breg. What's his name? Minac Roy. That's an interesting username for someone with that name, but that's whatever. But his work is really dope, and if this is true, being 22 years old, he's got a pretty strong visual language already. I mean, a lot of this stuff is pretty sick. Like, look at the line work on this. 22 years old, and I don't know if this kid went to art school or not, but that's part of the thing that I'm noticing is, like, there's so many young people who are figuring all this stuff out, and so yeah, it's crazy. Oh, CCA is completely shut down. It's shut down now. I didn't know it was that bad. Jeez, I had no idea. CCA is closing completely by the end of the year, getting replaced by Vanderbilt. Really, I had no idea that was the case. What is the reason for it? Is it just low enrollment or something? Like, what's the issue? Let's see. Yeah, this isn't. Yeah, and here's the thing. I'm an art professor. Like, I love teaching. I love talking about art, but I would be lying if I said that I think the system is perfect and there's no flaws, or you know, that's not outdated in some sense. I think if a person, first off, wants to be an artist, which is already a challenge as is, but if, you know, there's no reason why you can't learn this stuff online by now, or find a particular artist that you maybe want to be an apprentice under or something like that. Like, that's how they used to do it back in the day. I don't see why that system can't continue or can't be rebirthed. Low enrollment, constant needs for financial extensions, and bad review. I know a lot of students personally that are pretty much impromptu getting thrown out. Jeez. Yeah, I didn't know. Oh, wow, that's crazy. Yeah, I think a lot of art schools are going to be in trouble pretty soon if they don't get their act together. All right. I think I'm going to scale this head down just a little bit. this character just a bit so we don't create tangents. And you know, I might want to put him more in the foreground. Maybe even overlapping. We'll see. I may have him overlap, I'm not sure yet. Let's see, and it's also the tuition is outrageous. I go to art school in a heartbeat if I knew my grandkids wouldn't be turned into beggars. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that is the challenge with art school. And again, I love art school. I had a great time there, but I also recognize when you know, things need improvement. And art school as a system, if it wants to survive, it needs to do a lot more than it's currently doing. Alright, let's turn on the guide real quick. Okay, so technically speaking, there's stuff right here. Can I change this? Let me see. I think I can change the model so that I can remove the, yes, there we go. I know there's a remove icon somewhere. Object list, okay, let's see. I think it's all written in either Korean or Japanese, I can't tell which which thing to hide, but let's see. Oh jeez. Nope, that's not the button. Nope, that's not it. You know what? I'm just gonna ignore it. Forget it. I'm not gonna spend all my time figuring out how to move that thing. This, you might as well just delete that. That's how it used to look, and then just scoot it out of frame. Oh, that's how it's supposed to be? Okay, hold on. Oh, there we go. Thank you. Thank you, Megan. Oh. I gotta think of stances for these other two characters now. Let's see. Alright, let me find a reference. Give me 1 second. I think I'm gonna have one guy just lean against the wall right here. It's basically not possible for the education to be worth the expense with how much it costs. The only art school I'm hearing is kind of doing well is SCAD. Here they are actually focused on getting these kids jobs pretty much. I mean, I haven't, I saw SCAD one time. I wanted to go, or rather I applied and was like considering it. And I've heard mixed things about it. I've heard that they're horrible. I've heard that they're great. I've heard an infinite number of responses, but I'm glad that they're doing well. I want the art schools to succeed, honestly. Like I said, I'm a fan of art school in general, but it is a challenge right now because of how things are done. Let me see. I might also need to move out another object here. I've never seen 50K to be paying it for 4 years. I wonder what my life would have been like if I went to SCAD. Yeah, I wonder that type of thing sometimes too. Like if I had stayed in California and gone to like Art Center or something, because I was down the street from maybe okay, not down the street, but like 30 minutes away from where I grew up, you know. And I've heard very good things about Art Center, but you know, but then none of us would know each other, right? So yeah, gotta take it where it all counts, I guess. Yep, see, that's my point exactly, Megan. My point exactly. You probably would not have. Alright, let me see if I can rotate him a bit. Kairo's a little on the bigger side, so gotta get him right. Move his head down a little bit. His hat. I have him holding the hat here. Because anyone who's ever worn a hat has been sweaty and tired. Gotta let the top of your head breathe sometimes. By the way, guys, if you haven't already, please like the video. I would appreciate it immensely. Support the channel, support the page. Good here. Alright, I think this is a good solid pose for this character. Lean up against the wall. And even here, I'm gonna have him tilt his head a bit. Close on that. Alright, now we just have one other character. I need to find another tired pose for our guy. Let's see. You guys can see what I'm looking at here. Finding my reference. I just typed skinny tired because Andy's on the skinnier side, but I don't think I'm getting what I want. So let's just put tired pose. Yeah, see, everyone's kind of the exact same type of tired. I want to do something a little different. Maybe I could do him sitting or something. He could sit on the ground. But they're in an alleyway. That's kind of gross, actually. Never mind. I take that back. Oh, this one's not bad. Yeah. Like his sides are hurting or something. I could do this. There we go. Alright. You know what? Let me see. Can I just make my life slightly easier and just kind of trace over it a bit? Just gotta make sure the heights line up, but I think we'll be okay. Let me see. Let's get this here. Yeah. This actually might work. I think I might just slightly trace over this. Gotta work smarter, not harder. Besides, I am changing it because clearly this is not the body of a 14-year-old skinny boy. So. Orlando, ask one of your probing questions. I know you got one somewhere. This here. Yeah, actually it doesn't look too bad. I still think his legs are a little off. I think he might be a little short. I think that's what's going on. And his head's slightly too big as well. I think I actually want to change one of these legs because I think it's reasonable to assume that both of them wouldn't be exactly planted like that. Let's have them kind of do one of these. And then let's have his arm kind of come out just a little bit wider. Might not actually see this arm very much. Alright, I think we're cooking. I think we're cooking now. Alright, turn this layer off. And we're going to merge. And I'm going to turn them all to the same color. There we go. Yeah, I think this works. I'm gonna try and move him back just a little bit so he's up against the wall some more. Yeah, I think this works. Nice little establishing shot for the spread. I might want to move up some things, but other than that, it's fine. Like I said, I'll adjust some of these more subtle things later on because the 3D model is not going to scale at the same time as everything else, as far as I know. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, nope, it's not going to do it. So we're just going to keep them there, and we're going to do the close next. Let me turn that off for now. Let me turn off the guide too. Turnaround pose. Not that I don't know what my character looks like, but makes it easier. Alright, I think I'm not gonna be so concerned with showing his face. Realistically, I think his whole head would pretty much just be covered, pretty much. Jacket's going. There we go. We're going to get the jacket to wrap around him like so. I think the tighter fitting on. Is the stream having issues or is it just me? It often is just me. My internet's kind of bad. I don't know. Is it? How long has it been lagging for you guys? The audio is gone? How long has it been gone for? Well, we're gonna keep going anyway. What do you think, Kathy? You think it's worth restarting the stream? No? Okay. It's better on your end now. Okay. I think it's only been having issues for a few minutes. Okay, well that's good. That's good. Yeah, you just let me know when that happens, guys, because I don't know if there's anything I can do to fix it per se, but I can make it so that I don't like say a ton, so that it makes it easier for you guys. Because I don't want to go on this whole rant about something that you guys can't hear. You know, that's gonna be annoying for everybody. hold up. Yasha's coming too. Oh, there we go. Okay, yep. Okay, he just turned around. That's all he did. He turned around. I don't know if that counts as the whole Yasha sighting, but you know, I am kind of warm, so I will take a hydration check just because. All right, let's get back to drawing. So yeah, this is gonna be just a rough of the clothes. I've also made a subtle change in Zlatam's design, by the way. If you guys see here, I gave him this like strap. It was more of a, I mean, it was always a style thing, but it almost looked like a suspender strap. And I realized I always forget to draw it, so what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna turn it into a chain, a little chain. I'm pretty sure I have a brush for that, and it'll just make my life a little bit easier. Plus, I think it actually fits with his character more than the other one. So that's what we're gonna change it to. All right. So he's got this one. Telsey Shrimp says, well, speaking of RISD, SB could be the next big RISD collab after Atla. That would be cool. That is another hydration check, though. I think I'm almost that water, too. Thank you. Yeah, that would be really cool. Although I would give the Academy more credit than RISD for any success that SB gets. But, just because I mean, I literally made it there as a thesis, you know. But who knows? Maybe I'll be able to do a talk there, and I'll be able to say, "Hey, you guys owe me." I mean, what did RISD do except for having those guys meet? That's a good question. That's something that I would have to ask those guys. Which I did once, actually. I remember I met Mike DiMartino at a book signing, and it was right before I went to RISD, and I asked him what his experience was like, and he was like, man, I don't know what's going on there. I graduated like 20 years ago. And at the time, I was I was kind of shocked. I was like, you don't keep in touch? But then I had no perspective because I was a fresh graduate from high school. And so now looking back, I've been out of RISD for almost 10 years. I have no idea what's going on there. And now I couldn't even imagine if you add an extra 10 on top of that. So, yeah. But who knows? Let's see if the schools are even around then. Because who knows? People might be a little too pissed off. This here I gotta keep track of. Let me actually just... Probably not gonna have many details on his face, so I'm not gonna worry about that too much. pockets, because that's what cool guys do. They always have hands in their pockets. Just look at Soul Evans from Soul Eater. He's always got his hands in his pockets for some reason. Like, this dude's the only one that doesn't really look tired out of the whole group. But I'll probably have everyone kind of breathing heavy. Alright, now look at this. His head is a little too small, so we're gonna increase that. Oh, thank you. Oh, shoot. I just got a new addition to my water bottle, y'all. Got the Javen sticker, which I have so many of them. I never thought to actually put one on my water bottle. So yeah. By the way, guys, if you are interested in the Shao Boxers merch, we have it on the store. So feel free to go to shao-boxers.com. I don't know if we have the stickers on there right now, but I think we will be putting them there soon. But yeah, if you guys are ever curious, check out shao-boxers.com and switch over here. And you guys can see we have all the cool stuff on the website, all the characters. We have a concept art gallery. We have a shop where you can get the art book for the project, along with some other cool stuff like shirts and hoodies and water bottles and stuff like that. Including the water bottle that, it's not quite the one I have, but it's got the logo. It's got the logo and Javen on it. And if you want to support us, check out the support page where you can join our Discord, you can subscribe to the newsletter, or you can get to the tip jar. So yeah, I gotta do that every stream because you never know who's watching. And if you guys missed it and you're curious, just ask me in the comments. I'll tell you one more time. Gotta have the shameless plug. Yeah, no shame. No shame. Yeah, this panel's gonna look much, much better than I initially thought. Yeah, I probably will move everything up slightly in this panel. I think that'll be the smartest move. Until we get sponsors, the sponsors are us. Yes, sponsors are us. That is the name of the game. There's this one guy on YouTube I like who does great analysis videos. His name is Schnee, and he'll be like, all right, everyone, and now it's time to hear from our sponsor. And the sponsor is me. I'm paying for this video. Support the channel. I love that. And he's always so happy about it. I'm pretty sure he is monetized and actually has sponsors, but yeah, I always find that fun when he does stuff like that. All right, let's see. So he's got his long cloak over him like this, and then he's got this really stretchy shirt. I don't know, I just imagine Enzi wearing a shirt that's been in the wash one too many times and it stretched the fabric out. Because I've been through that. I've worn clothes that were washed one too many times, the fabric is just giving out. I think that's probably what he's wearing. Gotta go, but we'll keep the stream on. You've come so far on the drawings. Thank you, Megan. I appreciate you. Progress is progress. And thank you for keeping the stream on. Really appreciate that aspect. Looks good. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's for you. Right-handed, man. If you want to teach me how to draw with my right hand, then, you know, go for it. And he's like, never mind. This is easier. I'll live with it. But yeah, left hand. But you know, it's it can actually be quite the challenge to be a left-handed artist sometimes, because one, sketchbooks are not designed for us. They're they're usually designed for people who are right-handed, because the way the page is, especially if you have like a hardbound book, it's really hard to get the page to sit right. Yeah, and then all the programs obviously have the opposite layout from what is natural. So yeah, we gotta deal with that sort of stuff. But it's all good. It's all good. I'm not bitter or anything. It's fine. Alright, then. It's funny, I didn't even think about the fact that my setup was different than everyone else's. But yeah, if I put it on the left side, y'all would think this was a horrendously boring live stream, because y'all would just see a hand moving and that's it. Yeah, my mom said that she turns her papers in a crazy angle. Yeah, I have to do that too. I have to do it too. But there are some. One of the advantages though is I have an easier time doing angles like this when I draw, going left to right like that. Most right-handed people struggle with that. Just like I would struggle going like this sometimes. So yeah, it's kind of nice. It can be a superpower or an immense hindrance. I don't know. Depends on the mood, I guess. Preston says, "What's up, man? I'm sorry I'm late. I was talking to an old friend of mine." No worries, dude. You were you were totally fine, but I appreciate you coming on. It's not like school. There's no roll call. I'm not going like Preston, absent. Yeah, I'm not doing that. So. Alright, these guys backpack over him. Definitely gonna do a cleaner drawing over these. Should probably. Obviously, these aren't the inked versions, just trying to get something together. How do you get comfortable drawing on live? I kind of want to try, but I'm low-key scared. You know what, man? Honestly, I totally understand that, and sometimes I get intimidated as well. I think the challenge usually is just talking. Most of us struggle with being able to talk for a long period of time without someone there. It's the same reason people get camera shy, you know, like when you're shooting like a YouTube video or something, it's just you and the camera, but it feels weird doing that. And it's not that different from going live on TikTok. I think I have a unique advantage because I've been doing it for a while. Not necessarily drawing on TikTok, but on YouTube, and I teach as well. But I personally think that you are going to be fine. Most decent people are not trying to see you fail. Obviously, you have the trolls on TikTok and YouTube that just comes with the territory. But generally speaking, a good person is not wanting to see you fail. So you should feel free to have that be. You should have some freedom in that, knowing that that there's no real reason to be scared. Now, I think the other thing too is oftentimes when we get nervous or scared, it's because we are afraid our expectations aren't going to be met. Meaning, like, and this happens to me sometimes, where I want to get a certain amount of views on the live stream, but it's in some cases, in most cases. So I think that yeah, good question though. Good question. On YouTube, being very good. Jacket that he's folded around his waist. Jacket that he's folded around his waist. But it's something I haven't seen in too many character designs, so it's fun. Thank you, Vice. You were welcome. You were welcome. So, yeah, it's all new for me too. I gotta clean the kitchen. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, no problem. Okay, no problem. Okay, we got these coming out so far. You guys want to see the whole spread. Obviously, gotta work on this more. And the whole thing will be in. Are the starting made with AI or did you draw them? Wait, the starting? What do you mean? Are the settings made with AI? Oh, so it's not AI. It's a 3D model that I got in Clip Studio Paint. So yeah, this one I just got from Clip Studio, but they have a whole library. But there are some that I actually made. I can show you. Let me see. Let me slide some things over. Yeah, none of this is made with AI though. Everything here is either made by myself or a 3D modeler who knows how to do it better than me. So yeah, like this right here. Wrong button. Oh, darn it. Yeah, like this water tower, for example. I designed this water tower, and then someone else modeled it in Blender, and I just kind of drew over it. Super dope. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see. Some of these are going to be, these are just kind of placeholder backgrounds because they're on the roof of a building, so I don't really have to worry too much about things. And then we have this here. This was actually designed in an app called Feather, this background. It's really cool app. Basically, you can just draw in 3D space. And because I don't know Blender, I don't know how to draw or how to model things. Drawing in a 3D space really made sense to me, so I built the whole thing there, and I used it for the backgrounds for the scene up here. Some of these images I have to replace because they're more like thumbnails or sketches. Who's the main character? Ah, glad you asked. Let me see. So, whoa. Okay, hold on a second. My thing's coming out. So this is my main character. His name is Javen. What software am I using? Right now I'm using Clip Studio Paint. So yeah, this is Javen. He is the main character for this comic. And right now I'm basically just doing like a mini one-shot. So the one-shot has only a couple characters, but it doesn't have the entire cast. So these are the 4 main cast members. This is Javen, his cousin Zalam, and then his 2 friends, Cairo, who's in the pink, and Enzi in the yellow. And these characters were created specifically for the this one shot, but I'll show you guys the actual like main cast. Give me 1 second, I'll pull up the file for you. Let's see. Is this one? Yeah, here we go. Yeah, so this is my project Shadowboxers. These are the characters for it. So this is Mashaka on the far left, Aletha, Ishnu, Javen, the main character, Atana, Kayla, Ghazali, and Asim. And so they all have their own set roles, but the only ones who are going to appear in this particular comic, which is only about 20 pages, are Javen over here and Asim. Not to mention the characters I showed you before. But yeah. He said, this is giving me Invincible Static Shock vibes. You know what's funny? I have never like binge Static Shock. I know a little bit about it. I've seen some episodes, but I guess it was a subconscious inspiration because you're not the first to say that. You're not the first to say that. It looks like something Static Shock related. But I appreciate that because that's a high compliment. That is high praise right there. So yeah, but if you guys are curious, I showed it earlier, but I'll share it again. If you guys are curious about what this project is, you could check out shadowboxers.com. It's just be careful, it's shadow-boxers.com. And I have a bit of the story. I have all the characters here. We have a concept art gallery so you can see more of the stuff that I've created for it. Yeah, so we got some other art here. We even have a little fan art gallery at the bottom. So yeah, this is all me. This is all me. And then we have our fan art down here. And then we have a shop. And my favorite thing is actually this art book. So you know what? I'll grab one for you, and I can show you guys. Here's the art book I have here. and it's all the concept art for this this project. So if you're curious, you can check it out. I have these available online for digital and physical copies. So yeah, if you guys are curious. Sorry, YouTube audience. I know that you guys missed all that, but I'm sure you guys know how it is. You guys know how it is. Let's see. I grew up watching it. Man, it's good, and its roots are dark and deep. Ooh, okay. Definitely into the Spider-Verse vibes. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Spider-Verse, and that's another hydration check. On my stream, especially on YouTube, whenever Spider-Man is brought up as a topic, and Avatar: The Last Airbender, we have a hydration check, so we gotta drink water. Our little drinking game, but because I don't drink alcohol, that's how we do it. Let's see, Spider-Man joke. What would you call Peter Parker and MJ if they got married? Newlyweds. Ah, that's clever. I like that one. Thanks, Preston. That's another hydration check. So we got 2 hydration checks in the last 2 minutes. So, yeah. Yeah, so those are the characters. What page was I working on? Lost my page. Hold on. Not that one. It's not you. No. Oh, here we go. Lost the page for a moment. But now we're back. We're back in action. And that says it's working now. Okay, good. Good. Yeah, it's, my wife and I, we've talked about getting faster internet specifically for live stream purposes. So hopefully we can figure something out quickly. I think this leg could be a little wider. All right, let's see. And then we're gonna give him his little goatee here. Not bad. I like this. I like where this is going. Alright. Now, let's, just to get some variety, I'm gonna move on to this panel over here. In this panel, we just have 2 of the characters walking. It's these 2. This is Javen and Zalam. So we're going to continue working on this here. Got their placement, but gotta make some adjustments. Okay. character wearing his hood. What are you drawing? I am working on my comic right now. It's a project called Shadowboxers. So here you can see the spread right here. I spent most of the live working on this page, or this panel. These I did earlier before the stream started. But yeah, I'm working on a comic. It's a one-shot, about 20 pages, but it's an introduction to a much larger and grander world. So yeah, that is what I'm working on. That is what I'm working on. Okay, the project is called Shadowboxers: The Path of Light. So let me actually move this back. Right now I'm working on sketching these two characters out, the two on the left. Whoa. Okay, hold on. Yeah, so on the left we have Javen, on the right we have his cousin Zalam. Is this like the beginning, or is this further in? This is the end of this one shot. It's only about 20 something pages, like 22, 23 pages. But this is the very first story that I have created for it. And I structured it like a one shot because this is kind of like my first foray into comics. And I'm more of an animation person, but it's the first time I've ever done a big project like this, so I decided to do a one shot to kind of just get my feet wet, learn the process, figure out what I can improve on before jumping into like the big epic storyline portion. So that's what this is right here. But chronologically, this is the beginning of the saga of the series, but it's the end of the one shot, if that makes sense. That's why I ignored it. Yeah. Alright, so we got the two cousins. They're just walking and talking. I don't know why it looks like he's walking so funny. It looks like he's walking with a wedgie. So let's address that. Actually, I don't need to have him face the other character. Just kind of look straight. Alright. And you know what? Let's scale them up a little bit more. Yeah, that feels better. What app is this? This is Clip Studio Paint. Yeah, I have the EX version, I think. Whatever the expensive one is. That's the thing I got. Did Kathy just walk in? Wow, you heard her footsteps? Yes, She just came through. Preston says, hello, Kathy. She says hi back. I need to be more sneaky. Maybe. Just tiptoe around. I didn't realize my phone had such a good mic, though. That explains why all my ads on my phone show up the way that they do. Because clearly they're able to hear everything. Alright, let's see. Here, you could tell I'm left-handed because in so many of the panels I have the characters looking to the left. Doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen often. Hood. I need to see this more zoomed out. Let's see. Oh, that's not what I wanted. I think I need to rotate this. I drew it as if they weren't on a slanted floor, so let's fix that. I'm lining the center line up with the perspective in the background, so I know if that's straight, then this is gonna have to be straight. And then here, rotate this a little bit, and that should fix some of my problems. There we go. We don't see his hands, so I could put his hands in his pocket. I'll put both of their hands in their pockets. Why? Because I don't feel like drawing hands right now. And it's a perfectly legitimate thing to do. Besides, I drew hands in just about every other panel. looking too bad. Alright, let's see. Get the other side of the jacket here. Remember, his hand is in his pocket, so there's going to be a little bit of a dent here for his hand. And this character's looking over at this other one here, so nose right. Actually, I think I'm gonna shorten his hair just a little bit because his hoodie is kind of pressing it down. Just have a little mouth right here. Move down the hairline just a bit. Spider-Man joke. What is Spider-Man's favorite? Alright, that's another hydration check. You're just gonna be the Spider-Man joke guy.
And Mark.
Yeah, you and Mark, Preston. Mark comes on the YouTube page. Wonder if he'll come on today. We'll see. Mark, if you're watching the replay of this, what's up, man? Appreciate you for coming on when you do. Okay. All right, not bad, not bad. I think let's bring this in even more. Slightly wider shoulders. Okay, not bad, not bad. And then we'll get the detail of his pants here. Alright, got that one done pretty quickly. I think I could probably move to ink that one if I really wanted to, which is great. Alright, let's get this next character over here. So I gotta give him this expression right here. Check his proportions. Oh yeah, his proportions are way off. So we gotta fix this. This will not do. Ooh, that's not right. There we go. mistake was the belly button. Actually, now that I think about it, this head's going to need to lean forward just a little bit, like that. I think his arm's going to go a little bit lower, something like this. He's got these 6 strands up top of his head, so that's 5 and 6. And he's got the locks coming down, 2 in front of his face. And he's kind of looking a little irritated. Also going to lower the collarbone. Just gonna plug in some of the details on his clothes, get the collar. Collar's about the same level as his chin, give or take. progress. Alright, let's add the 6 little strands here. Not too bad. It's coming out well. Obviously, I'm going to need to go over this again for the penciling and inking. This is still kind of thumbnail-like to me, so I'd want to get it to be a little tighter before going into everything. So I'm kind of okay with them having pretty much the same pose in this, because the way I see it, Javen is looking up to his big cousin, like, and not just looking up to him physically, but he looks up to him like a big brother, kind of. And I think it actually fits, because you could tell just based on the design that they kind of look like each other. They both have their rolled up sleeves. They both put their hands in their pockets. They both have some sort of urban jacket that's open, you know. So yeah, I'm kind of okay with them looking similar as far as the pose goes in this. Let's see. Yeah, doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Now I do still want to adjust some things, so I wonder if I can. You know, I have an idea. What if I just flattened this or rasterized it? It's going to take a second to load. But if I rasterize it, then I can fix this layer and move it up the way that I was hoping. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it feels so much better already. So much better. And then I can even expand a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Looks good. I know it's a subtle change for all you guys looking, but I think it makes a big difference. All right, I think I'm gonna call it here today, guys. Ending the stream a little earlier than I ordinarily would, just because I basically finished the drawings I wanted to finish, and I don't think I'm gonna get far in the next 5 minutes. So everyone watching on TikTok, I appreciate you guys. I'll see you next time. And then for all of you all, my special home team on YouTube, I appreciate you guys for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed it. And I'll see you on Sunday.